How's it going, everybody? This is a video that I'm going to be doing to replace the main Fidelity setup video that I did earlier. It was the first video I posted, and I was helping some people who are in our chat room use and set up Fidelity for speed trading. Not many people were using it at the time. Now it's our main, probably the main one we use. So I wanted to do an updated video with some updated information that's a little bit, I think, more clear than the original video I posted. Hopefully the graphics are a little bit better. This can just be a higher quality, better, more in-depth Fidelity setup video. The main purpose of this is going to be for stocks and I'm sorry, not for stocks, but for options, not stocks. So for speed trading options, not for swing trading stocks and stuff like that. I will show how to set everything up for stock trading as far as in a scalping sense, but as far as different legs of an order and stop losses and all that, I'm not going to cover that in great detail. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how to set up your account for what we do on this channel and how we speed trade. Now, you don't have to use Fidelity. If you can get your account to do this same thing, or your broker, whoever it is, and can get you to basically do what I'm showing here, then you can trade with us. But this, in order to understand what we do and how we do it, you have to watch this because you have to be set up in your broker to where you can trade like I'm going to show you in this video. So this video is going to give you everything you need to know to follow me. First thing you do when you download Active Trader Pro, install it, and have everything set up is you go to layouts and you click new. You already have one on here. I have a few on here, but I created one for test just for creating this video. So the first thing you'll go to is trades and orders. Or you could do, really this part of it doesn't really matter, the order that you go, but the first thing we'll say you do is direct trade in extended hours. And then we are going to open up a chart. Let's open up a chart. So I have a default chart that has some stuff programmed in it. I'm just going to click new chart because I want to install that stuff myself and show you how it's set up. So we have a blank chart and we have a direct trade window. Let's type in Tesla. It's a name we trade very regularly, and we'll type in Tesla here. So you don't have to type it in both. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that everything that you open up is linked. Click on this up at the top and click link. Go up here and click link. Now they're both blank, so let's just type in Tesla again. And now when we change them, they all change together. It's important that you use the gray tool, and using the gray tool allows it to work with these shortcuts that you can put down here. If you do a different color, these shortcuts won't work. I'll cover this ticker in a few minutes. This is your edit custom ticker. You can edit it down here and put whatever names down here that you would like. So after you get these two up, the next thing you're going to want to have is an options chain, because remember, we are trading options. So you're going to want options chains opened up. Link it to the gray. That'll automatically pop up whatever you have up there. You can resize these. So you can see here, you can resize this to be whatever size you want it to be, and we'll fit everything where it needs to be shortly. And I'll have this set up just like how I have mine. First thing I'll do is I'll have stuff over here just so I can see everything. The second thing we want is another chart. The reason for this will come in a minute. This one is not going to be linked. This is the Qs, and I set this over here. The reason I set the Qs chart here is a lot of times we look at the market and we watch the market. I have TC2000 as my main charting software. I do not have Fidelity as my main charting software. So because of that, when I'm jumping in between stocks, I like to get a reference on my chart of what I'm looking at of the Qs and of Tesla or of Apple, so I can get a bigger picture market right in front of my face when I'm doing my orders in case something changes drastically. I don't have to look over and look at my TC2000 charts or anything like that, so I have this stuff in front of me. So now that this is up, let's go ahead and let's remove some of these. So these are the different options. So what you're looking at right now is you are looking at your option expiration date. This is the option expiration date. For what we do, with the exception of on Fridays when Fidelity doesn't let you trade the options expiring the same day, I generally trade the same week. So here are the options, and you can open them up by clicking on them. If you open them, it will open always. For some reason, you can't change where this opens. Whenever you open an options direct trade window, which is what happens when you click on one of these, it will open it up just like this. And it'll put it up here in the same location. If you open up another one, it'll put it right next to it. You can drag it. But the reason I set my Fidelity charts up like this is because I like to have my option, ask, and bid right next to my level 2, so when I open it up, I can get that quick reference of the level 2 and the ask. So when I buy, I'm buying over here, and when I am watching the price, I'm watching the price, over here of the actual stock. So, but then you just close that out. You can open up another one. So that should be linked. The next thing we're going to open up, as far as the tool that I use, is, let's go to it. Let's see. Our positions window. So we want to open up our positions window. This shows you, this has some information, and this is one of my LLC accounts. This has certain information in it. So this has your total account value on the day. It has your any active positions that you're in. But the reason we're keeping this open is not to show us in a scalping sense, because there's a delay in this. This is not going to show us where we're at, our gains and losses, and all this other stuff. This just serves as you can quickly check your total account value on the day, if you've done a few trades, if you're up money, if you're down money. If you put your mouse right here, you can see as of at that time, that's the account. And if I was up or down money, it would actually show that. I haven't traded in this account today. I could do a trade really quick to show you. If I was up or down, watching Tesla, looking at some other charts I have, Tesla puts would probably be a good thing to buy right now. So if I was scalping them, I'll move this out of the way. I'll do all this in a second. I'll execute a trade in a second and show you guys. But for now, let's do this. So I put this down here, and I can resize these. I'm going to resize everything. And you can resize this to fit however you like. The next thing we need, that was a positions window, we need an orders window. So the last tool that I use is an orders window. Give me a second to find it. It's orders, here you go. Orders. This is going to show you every order you place throughout the day. So all the orders you place are going to be located in here, and you'll see what that looks like shortly. I'll set this down here. Now, there are some settings that are set up on my account right now that you're going to have to put into practice, or you're going to have to change in your general settings and your trade settings before you can trade like this. So I'm going to go ahead and go to them. So if you right click, go to settings, the first thing you want to do, you'll start in general. This stuff you can have put up, account name, account number. This isn't important. This necessarily isn't. You want market data update set to streaming, so it's constantly coming in live. Your theme color, you can change this. I prefer black. None of this part is important here. This sidebar, I'll show you what that is later. It's this over here. If you click it, it opens up, and you could drop a window there, so you could have it open and see different things. This is a zoom, so you can see if I move this based on your computer size. If you're on a laptop, if you're on different size computers or different size monitors, you can adjust your total screen size to get things to fit better. If having everything fit perfectly and not having to scroll is something that you like, you can use this zoom feature. And the ticker at the bottom with your custom list, that's what this is. So show market ticker, if I was to uncheck this and hit apply, it would take that off. Having that checked actually shows what's down here. So it's important to, if you want that down there, to have that checked. I don't mess with this. This is your auto save, so when you exit, if you want it to automatically save every time you exit, I have it ask me, because sometimes I mess around, I don't want my layout changed, and so I don't want it to automatically save it when I log out. I want to tell it to save it in case I'm making some changes. So trade. This is very important. This is in my other video, but this is very important here. This is the default trading account. If you have multiple accounts, you can have it default to this. If you change, you can have that changed. This is very important. Your default trade ticket window can be set to these different things. Direct trade ticket is what you want it set to. That's what you want your trade set to. If you changed it, it would change where it opens up your trading little thing. When I clicked here, it opened up something up here. If you change this, it's going to change what opens up when you click on an option. That's basically what that is. Always display trade type. This can be important here. I click on yes. It shows you that you're trading on margin and not on cash. So I think it's important to have that. These two, very important for speed trading. It's something I didn't show in my last video, or I showed part of it. Skip preview and skip confirmation for speed trading is important. For the sake of showing you, if I uncheck both of these and I hit apply, and I go to a thing and I try to buy, I'll click buy and I'll just try to buy one. It's not going to let me. But I preview. So I get to preview and then I have to hit place. So it would show that confirmation and all that. So to get rid of that, go back to settings. That's just option chain, trade. Skip preview and skip. Yeah, and it makes you sign this. I have signed and read the terms telling you that you're not going to get a preview showing you how much money you're spending and all that. And then skip confirmation. That skips. If I had the confirmation, if confirmation was there, I would have to, after I click trade, it tells you the price you got filled at. It tells you all of that information. Skipping that confirmation, it skips that confirmation on your direct trade window, so you don't have to click new trade. And so now you can see if I click buy 10, it would actually buy 10 Tesla calls right now. I'm not going to do that. Not yet. So let's go back to trade. So you want both of those clicked. This is, again, for the fastest trading that you can do. This is not important for what we do. This has to do with just your default stock setups. If you're using a normal trade window, whenever you open a trade window, a separate trade window for stocks, it would be set up like this, and it would automatically open up with this information. If this is something you want, you can mess with this. Trade armor, brackets, and stuff like that, default setup. I don't use trade armor. I don't use this, but you can mess with this if you want to. It's not pertinent to what I'm doing in this video. Option defaults. For option defaults, this is the same thing. If I was to have it set up to where a trade window opened, and a trade window would be this, that would be what it would open to in here, and you could trade out of there. So those are not important. So as far as on trade, neither of these are important for what I'm going to show you for the rest of the video. General is, you need to have these checked. Next we'll drop down to direct trade. Direct trade window is this, which has your level 2 and the options level 2 that will open up. This is what we want to edit to make sure it's correct. These are options defaults. This stuff, not important. Industry colors, you can do blues, or you can change this to the colors. You see how mine are colored? I prefer having it colored. When you that helps me a lot of times when I'm trading the options. All of this, I don't have anything set up here. If this is something that you want to do, you can mess with this. I do not. Stock shortcuts. Here is how I buy, purchase, and sell stocks and purchase and sell options. This is the window that you want to use. For the stocks, when you go to stock shortcuts, you can set up buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. These numbers can be whatever you want them to be. They don't need to be the numbers that I put up. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want here. It is important for the sake of if you like them set up like I have mine. If you look up here, you see buy 1,000, and then directly below it is sell 1,000. Buy 5,000, sell 5,000, and that's how you want it set up, towards like click, 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 click for the same amount. It's important to have them set up like this. Same thing for the options. And you do that by hitting buy, so you hit it by hitting custom. So if this was blank and I didn't have anything here, so I just erased it, and now I'm actually going to have to erase all of them because it's going to go all the way down here. So if I was setting that up, I would click on custom, and then I would click label, and I'll just move this around later. I'm not worried about it. Buy 1K. I could do a description. I don't need to. Buy, And here is your, so if you wanted to buy, if you wanted to sell, buy to, here's your sell to short, buy to cover, sell, whatever you have your account set up to be allowed to do, all that information is going to be right here. So if you do have the ability to sell and to buy and all this other kind of stuff, you can program that here. If you like to short stocks, you can set that up. It doesn't have to be buy to open. You can program that however you would like to for buying or selling shorts. The order type quantity, this is for your stocks again, not your option, is market, limit. You could actually do a stop. This stuff, trailing stop, you can do all of this. If I was doing this part of it, for my stocks, I would probably use Trade Armor. It's a better tool for that, and it's a lot quicker. But it's not something I regularly do. But if you do that, you could use Trade Armor for that. For me and for what we do, we just market in and market out of everything. So almost all of my things are going to be set for market. Quantity, 1,000. Time in force, I do day, and I'll always cancel an order if something doesn't go through. And conditions, none. So that's how you do it. You can sadly only have a total of 6 shortcuts. I'll come back to this and mess with it later. But if I go over here now, let's go to the options. This is the main thing that me personally, that I want to look at and show you guys. Same thing up here. You do have the option to do, buy to open at bid, and that would just pre-program everything here. So you can see these options. If you want to select one of these, that's okay. I do not. I customize everything and do it myself. Buy 10, buy 20, buy 30, and the same cells. It will set up just like it's posted here, just like the stock one. If you change it out of order, then it's going to be out of order there. If that's how you like it, that's what you can do. The idea here is to be able to quickly hop in and quickly hop out with minimal mouse movement. So now we have the same things. You can look at this, your sell to open, sell to close, buy, open, sell, close. What we do, and what I do 100% of the time, is buy to open, and all my cells are sell to close. That is the only way I personally trade. So all these are that. You can do your market limit. I don't do trailing stop or any stuff like this. If you're into that, I don't know if I would do it through the direct trade, but you can mess around with that yourself. The options for how you want your order type to be filled are there. The only time I do a limit order in Fidelity, and I will show you how to do that because obviously everyone knows market. If you type in limit, you'll see the quantity. You'll see limit at the ask. The reason I have this set at the ask, if I'm limited in something, it's I want to be able to get in at almost guarantee that I get in. I use this for a one and done strategy. Fidelity does not let you mark it in the first 2 minutes of the day. The problem with that is sometimes I want to buy a stock at the open and I can't mark it in. Well, if I really want to buy a stock or buy something at the open, I just want to get into it because I think it's going to go higher. It's an aggressive way of playing, but it's how I trade. And when I do that, I set buy at the ask because I'm basically marketing in. And that just guarantees pretty much that I'm going to get a fill. So I want to show you something with this. Now you can change this, and if you want to be more selective, you could do at the bid, you can do in between, you could do a percent. So you could do, you can mess around with this part. I do at the ask, and I leave this here. So I'm going to apply this really quick to show you what you have to do to trade when you do it like that. So I want you to look at something here. Let's look at, we'll do Tesla because it moves around a lot. So notice this limit. This limit will change. So the stock's not moving quickly. It doesn't change automatically. This is not automatic. You have to continue to click it. So if I was trying to get in Tesla here, I would continuously click buy, 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 and that will update as the ask updates. So it's moving up. It's now 37.80. My ask doesn't automatically move up. I have to click it again. In order to get in there, I have to jump over right now and click enter. Now it might fill me at a better price than the limit. Often I do get filled at better than what I put in at. But you want to click, 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 and that will constantly update the ask to what the current ask is. It's important for if you're trying to limit into something instead of marketing into something. Then you can sell to close in the first 2 minutes as Fidelity currently has it set up. So that's how you change that to at the ask, or to, if you want to get into something very early in the day in the first 2 minutes, you cannot mark it into options. You can mark it into common and you can mark it out, but you cannot mark it in. So that's how you change that to a limit. again, for day trading and generally what I do, everything is set up here to market. So this is none selected. All of these, make sure the cells are set to margin or cash, depending on what you do. All mine are set to margin. So that is how you set up the direct trade ticket windows. Here's something you might come across that's sometimes an error. So if I'm in here in stock and let's see if it'll do it. If the last thing you edit in there is a stock instead of an option, so if I go to stock shortcuts and I click apply when I'm in there, sometimes it's not doing it, but sometimes it will open up a direct trade for the stock instead of a direct trade for the option that you clicked on. In the event that that happens, just go to your settings, go to options. You don't even have to change anything. Just click apply when you're under direct trade and under options. And when you do that and you go back and you click an option, it should open it up automatically. And then these will be set to whatever they're supposed to be set to. So that's currently at a limit. I want to change that back to a market order. Let's change that to market. You have to hit apply. And what stinks about this too is you can only change one at a time. So I have to change the buy and then click apply. I have to come back, do the 20, click apply, do the 30, click apply, do the 10, click apply. You have to do it like that for some reason, at least at the time of this video, which is 1/4/22, January 4th, 22. So now this should automatically be set up. I don't even have to exit it out. It's already set to market. There you go. That's how you make that change. Let me think through. Let's see if there's another. So this this is your orders tab. This is for down here. This is the orders window that we opened up. You can do verified cancel, so you can actually cancel orders. Everything you would do, like if you limited in and you didn't get filled, that information will come up in the orders tab. That's why you want it there. So you can have all of this stuff checked here, so it'll actually show verified canceled orders, partial fills. You can have those come up in different colors. So you can have that here. You can change the color in your orders tab of these different things, like open orders. You can have that highlighted a different color, partial fills a different color, if you want those things highlighted under your orders tab over here, or wherever you put it. It's not really important, but wherever you put it. This is just, you can't buy it. That's just buying options a day before they expire. You can get that, you know, if you're in something. So you can add these indicators here. If you scroll through these, you can add these indicators to your orders tab based on what you want there, what you want to look at. It's not important for the sake of this video, but if there's certain information you want to see, like, you know, any of this stuff, you can add this or take anything out to customize your order window to look like what you want it to look like. That's all this is. And over here's the columns I have selected. You can actually prioritize them. So if you look here, symbol, symbol, action, action, you can actually move where they're at on the orders window by using this little box here. So you can click around these things, move them so they'll show up in different places. Positions, this is what is in your positions window that I had you guys open up earlier. You can take or remove stuff in the same way that you can take or remove things from your orders window. You can put what you want there. Most of it's not important to me. I'm almost never in a position long enough for things to open up there and be accurate. I do not use it to know if I'm green or not green in a trade. I'll show you guys how I do that shortly. But I do put stuff like the gain and loss and value and quantity and some other stuff like that just to have it up. It's honestly not important. Most of this stuff isn't. I could probably take a lot of this stuff off and I would be okay. You can do all accounts. You can mess around with different stuff in here if that's something you want to play with. Options, I don't mess around with this stuff. This is the information that you see in here under your options window. I don't mess around with that. But you can change some of that stuff if you would like. History, don't have that open. Options change. So this is actually this one. The options is something else. So this is it. So calls and puts. You could just look at calls. You could just look at puts. I do calls and puts. The most strikes you can do all strikes to 20 strikes. I do 20. That's 10 in and 10 out. Expiration, I usually do the next 3 months, but you could, just because it's the lowest. If that was lower, I would just do the next month or two. Weekly option contracts, you can show those. That's this week's, and this is the selected columns I have for my options, which you can see here. The last price, the bid, the ask, volume, open interest, theta, delta, and level 4. So that information is all right here for me to see in my options chain, as you can see. So now that we've gone over all of the settings that you need to have to trade, here's what you will roughly look like. There's other things you can do to your chart. When you open up your chart, it will actually look different than this. I don't use them for charting, but it will not be the filled candles. You won't have these moving averages on there. It'll be a different kind. So if you want to edit what your charts look like, go to settings, and you can edit candlestick types, patterns, all of this information. You can put all that in there, change the colors, do all that stuff you want to make your charts look like you like them. So once this is done, you can see how everything looks. Now let's look at what it looks like when we execute a trade. So we are going to, I don't know, let's say I'm looking for a name just on the market. I will size down, so I'll go ahead and I'll change, because this is for test purposes. I'll go ahead and change what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So let's go to the settings. Wrong one. So it's easiest to do it off direct trade. It'll open you up where you need to be. Options, we're going to change this to 1. We're going to click apply. We're going to go back. We're going to change it again. Options, sell, and sell 1. Even though it says 10, I'm just going to be selling and buying 1. We can do AMD. The reason I'm going to do AMD for this test trade is it's not a very dangerous name. It's a very small name. Not going to win or lose a lot doing that. But you could basically pick any name. The purpose of this is just to see if there's anything that's stronger. If I'm going to buy calls, kind of having a down day as far as not me, but the market itself. Facebook is trending higher. I have other charts up that I can personally look at. So this is not a strategy I'm about to do. This is just for educational purposes to show you what I do. So let's see that there was a strategy or something that was going to happen. I click this, it instantly loads up my options. I jump up here and load whatever tier size I would like to take in this name. It puts all of the information in here for you. There's no hotkey on your keyboard that you can use or anything like that. You can look over here. You can change all this to where it's fitted differently. Again, fit this to your computer. This is just how to set everything up. There you go. You can change it, fit it right, zoom in, zoom out, make everything look the way it needs to. What I do when I am trading is my eyes are here on the ask before it goes through a trigger, even though the option's over here. If you set everything up the way you wanted, let's say you wanted to buy the next 1 minute breakout of Facebook. It could be anything, but we're doing that. The top of the candle is $37.95. I would be looking over here and I would want to buy it before it goes through $37.95. Facebook probably pulls down to the moving average here, but let's go ahead and buy. So we purchase, and then we instantly load up our sell and we move over. I got filled at 75 cents. I'm instantly ready to sell, and I sell. That's how quick this is. So there doesn't have to be any wait. And you saw nothing really came up here. This just let me know. And so now I can see how much I won or lost on that trade. There are two ways I can see that. One, you could do math in your head. Math in your head is my entry price was $2.75. My exit price was $2.72. If I was to expand this and click on this, it opens up more information. So you can see how much money it was. You can see, price improvement on that contract. You can see more information, and more information if you put more in here. Do the same on the exit. So you can see, I lost $3 on that trade. So, and I can go this back down. You can see the dates. You can see all this other type of stuff. If you want margin, how you ordered it, all this information. So all that information is going to be in there. You see the order, you see the fill price. Now if I wanted to see what I was up or down on the day, and I haven't traded in this account, I traded in a different one today, I would put it here on the total account value, and you see a total loss of $4.34. That includes the price per contract and all that other information that you have in there. So I am now down on the day $4.34. If I wanted to do it again, I just mark it in, if I wanted to do puts, I would do the same thing. Look over here, buy one, you could buy, get ready to sell. It dropped a little bit, sell. Oh, I made 2 cents there. Probably didn't make anything after everything's said and done. You can see how that updated when it's done. Now, a lot of times this number is actually wrong. Or it is wrong and it takes a little bit to update. If you're trading a lot and a lot of value and you're buying and you're selling, this isn't always going to be accurate, but it's an easy way to kind of get that accuracy and to gauge that accuracy, or to know where you're at on your account. So 2 ways to tell how you're doing on the day, or where you're at after a trade. You can tell that, and you can also look over here. So made 2 cents on that trade, lost 3 cents on that trade. That is what it is. So that is how quickly you need to be able to trade to do what I do. To trade how I trade, to trade how I teach and show on this channel, to do the stuff I do, that is the speed you need to have. It doesn't have to be on Fidelity's website. It could be through any trade software, but it should be that quick. Because a lot of times when we're trading names and we're doing stuff, that's how quick sometimes we get in and out. The same thing would happen if I was to buy shares in this. I should, and you can change it just by clicking once and doing that. I should be able to buy 1 Facebook share, sell 1 Facebook share, that simple. And you can see made a little bit there, but not really, but same principle applies. You want to be able to click 1, sell 1. So in order to make a trade in a name, I have to type in here, I'm going to prop this up a little bit. I need to be able to type in here a name, open up an option contract once it loads, load it to buy, load it to sell, and sell. So right there, that is how quick you need to be able to trade. Now, you might hold longer, you might not hold longer, but you should be able to do that in that amount of time or less on your platform. And so this is how you do it on Fidelity. This is how you set up to be able to trade this style on Fidelity. There are other platforms that can do it, but these are the settings you need. This is the information you need to do what I do. So thank you for checking this out. I hope it was helpful and it gives you a good idea of how I trade, what I'm looking at, what my setup is, and the information I need, and I think the information you need to do this kind of scalping. If you have any questions about this, or you think I left something out, feel free to drop a comment below. And if you did like this, please leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you soon on my next video.